Our selection today is Swing Low, Sweet Chariot.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
I looked over Jordan and what did I see?
Coming for to carry me home.
A band of angels coming after me,
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
if you get there before I do,
Coming for to carry me home.
tell all my friends I'm coming too.
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
Oh,
Swing low,
sweet
sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
I'm sometimes up and I'm sometimes down,
Coming for to carry me home.
but still my soul is Zion bound.
Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot,
The oracles of the UCI. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named among you as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear, than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth. Therefore, let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. When we deal with the things that are coming upon the earth, we realize that we are not in business as usual times. If we are paying attention, things are definitely changing. Are you not hearing me? Yeah, I'm on. You're not getting me. Things are definitely changing all the way around us. But what we're going to have to do is, I'm sorry, I'm down. What we're going to have to do is realize the things that are happening before us. And as it is written during the time of Noah, people were eating and drinking, marrying, partying, having a good time, doing all the things that they wanted to do. And then the flood came upon them. But there were people who received warning. Noah's family received warning that these things were going to take place. But what we do is try to guesstimate the appropriate time that we should change. And Yahweh will not be mocked. So you have a lot of people trying to get into prophecy. So they get into prophecy and they go through all of these equations and they doing all of these things. What that's for is so they can guesstimate the approximate time that they need to change. See, we want to, pinpoint it down to next Thursday. So if we can get it down to next Thursday, we're going to change next Wednesday. So we will have at least one day before judgment get here. And Yahweh is not even going to allow that to happen. So you can stay in as many books as you want to. You ain't going to figure out when Yahshua come in here because he don't want you to figure it out. You can pull out 50 different equations. You can get the smartest theologians. You can get a history buffs. You can get all of that. It is not going to give us that exact time, because what Yahweh is doing is testing men's heart. This is what the whole parable about the 10 virgins was about. There was 5 wise and 5 foolish. He wasn't able to tell who was foolish until it got dark. He purposely waits until it gets dark so he can see who he has around him and to prove to you who you have around you. Today's sermon is entitled The Word versus the World. Everyone that has a present also has a past. When are the deeds of our past available and able to be used against us in the Word? It is in his Word that we find if we judge ourselves, then we will not be judged. It is in his Word that we find that if we repent and walk upright, that our former deeds will be wiped away. This also means that the opposite is true. If we continue to walk in the world, all of our deeds are available and able to be used against us, even if we are now in the Word. Let's begin today's sermon in 1 Timothy chapter 1. 1 Timothy chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 1 through 13. Now, this, even if we deal with how man has set up things, some of us have encountered, and I ain't going to call no names, what they call a First Offender Act. Now, a First Offender Act means that your first arrest will not be counted against you. But there's a stipulation, because there's a pause in there. There's a little period. You have to not get into something else within a period of time. And that is then wiped away, never can be used against you, can't even bring it up in court. If they bring it up in court, if you got more than a public pretender, you can get all that wiped out. Because they wasn't even supposed to mention. Matter of fact, your whole case might get dropped because they wasn't even supposed to mention it. Well, they get their concepts from what's written in our law. Okay? They get all of that from what's written here. And if we do what we're supposed to do, it's not that we haven't done anything, because we know we've done things. We have the opportunity to get those things erased. But not if we continue to walk in them. Not if we continue to allow those things to be floating out there unacknowledged. Acting like we don't know what happened, acting like we don't know what has taken place and what we need to do about it. We don't get a clean slate operating like that. Let's begin 1 Timothy chapter 1, and we're going to start this at verse 1. Now, do understand the things that we find in this New Testament, the Apostle Saul, whom they call Paul, is going from place to place, bringing the word to Euro-Gentiles, but there are also Jews among them. You need to make sure that when you're reading, to make sure who's talking and who are they talking to, because everything in this New Testament does not apply to the children of Israel. You need to know the difference. There are very good concepts that our people should have gotten out of the law, but these people don't necessarily have the law like that or have understanding. So those things have to be placed in plain wording. So the plain wording part is very good for us, but do understand that the Euro-Gentiles way of dealing with salvation and our way is not the same way. And all we need to do to verify that is read Romans 2, and it'll tell you how the children of Israel attain unto their salvation and how the Euro-Gentiles attain unto their salvation. Not the same path. That one size fits all doctrine is not what's in this book. Go ahead.
Saul, an apostle of Yahshua the Mashiach, by the commandment of Elohim, our Savior, and Adonai, Yahshua the Mashiach, which is our hope. On to Timothy, My own son in the faith.
My own son in the faith. Understand that Timothy's father was a Greek. He is a Gentile. Saul lets you know that he is a Hebrew Israelite. But he has taught him, and he says he is my son in the faith. So this is going past color and ethnicity lines here. This is the man that he has taught. He has taught him to do this word so that he can then teach his own people. Go ahead.
Grace, mercy, and peace from Elohim our Father and Yahshua the Mashiach our Adonai. As I besought you to abide still at Ephesus when I went into Macedonia, that you might have charged some that they teach no other doctrine, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions rather than godly edifying which is in faith. So do. Now the end of the commandment is love out of a pure heart, and of a good conscience, and of faith unfeigned.
And the best we can do to have a pure heart is do the best that we can. There's none of us that are able to walk sinless on the earth. So the purest we can ever be is the best ability that we have. Now the difference is sometimes we don't know what our best is. That's where the question comes in. See, we want our best to be when we are in a comfortable situation. You'll find that your best ain't when you're comfortable. Your best is when you're most uncomfortable. Go ahead.
From which some having swerved had turned aside unto vain jangling, desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. But we know that the law is good, if a man use it lawfully. Knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers.
Now listen to this, listen to this. Knowing this, verse 9, that the law is not made for a righteous man. For a righteous man didn't need the law to tell him, I shall not murder. The righteous man didn't need the law to say, I should not climb and need people wonder. He didn't need that. But if that's what you need, that's what you need. But the righteous man, this is not that thing. So you consider, as we get down to reading the things about fringes, to remind us to keep the law. Does a righteous man need to remember to keep the law? See, people wear fringes and they say it's for you to keep the law. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. The law was not made for a righteous man. That's something that we need to consider. And anytime I say that, I have to tell, I'm not against wearing fringes. I wear fringes. Matter of fact, I think they've turned into a lot more of a social statement than what it is for the law itself. And when I wear them, I think I look rather dashing. Read, bro.
Verse 10. For whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars.
Right, because you get in this law and you find out that those things were not accepted by Yahweh our Elohim. But see, you have a whole lot of things now. They say, we have the new church that allows this and allows that. What new church? The New Testament don't even agree with what's going on Sunday morning. They try to tell you that it's the Old Testament that's testifying against them. They're not reading parts of the New Testament because the New Testament don't agree with that either. Go ahead.
For perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine, according to the glorious gospel of the blessed Elohim, which was committed to my trust. Verse 13. Yeah. And I thank Yahshua the HaMashiach, our Adonai, who has enabled me that he counted me faithful, putting me into the ministry, who was before a blasphemer and a persecutor and injurious.
Because he persecuted those that believed in this way. Go ahead.
But I obtained mercy because I did it ignorantly in unbelief.
Now that is the million-dollar question right there. I obtained mercy because I did it ignorantly in unbelief. It is a very, very intricate thing here when you deal with this. Saul was educated in the law. He was raised under a priest and taught all of these things. He was able to speak multiple languages. Yet he has a situation where he's saying, I did it ignorantly in unbelief. Where was the part of his unbelief? After Yahshua brought these things to him, he received his baptism. He did not walk into those things again. So that is a very key point. But let's go to Numbers chapter 15. So then it becomes the question of when are we walking in the world and when are we walking in the word? And does the world in us overtake the word in us? Numbers chapter 15, and we're going to start that at verse 22.
Verse 22. And if you have erred and not observed all these commandments which Yahweh had spoken unto Moshe, even all that Yahweh has commanded you by the hand of Moshe, from the day that Yahweh commanded Moshe, and henceforward among your generations, then it shall be, if aught be committed by ignorance without the knowledge of the congregation, that all the congregation shall offer one young bullock for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor unto Yahweh, with his meat offering and his drink offering, according to the manner, and one kid of the goats for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for all the congregation of the children of Israel, and it shall be forgiven them.
Right. There's a part where we deal with forgiveness, but what we don't deal with is the atonement of that sin following. See, we stay in a part of forgiveness, but there's a part of atonement that needs to come, which sets us back as if it hadn't taken place. Go ahead.
For it is ignorance. And they shall bring their offering, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yah, and their sin offering before Yahweh for their ignorance. And it shall be forgiven all the congregation of the children of Israel, and the stranger that sojourn among them, seeing all the people were in ignorance. And if any soul sin through ignorance, then he shall bring a she-goat of the first year for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for the soul that sins ignorantly, when he sinneth by ignorance before Yah, to make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him.
All right, so Saul being raised up in this law, he understands this part. But we have to try to get into how can someone as educated as him sin by ignorance? Go ahead.
And you shall have one law for him that sins through ignorance, both for him that is born among the children of Israel, and for the stranger that sojourns among them. But the soul that does aught presumptuously, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth Yah, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people.
So now we're getting into something else at verse 30, but the soul that does aught presumptuously, it wasn't done out of ignorance. Ignorant just means you don't know. And once we come into this word, we get baptized in Yahshua's name, and he starts directing us on things. Yeah, there's some things it's a process. We may slip, we fall, we get back up. But once the truth has been brought to us, and you have a lot of delay, sometimes people think that they're going to pass that period of ignorance and extend it all through their life. Ain't gonna work. Once Yahweh brings that to you, as far as understanding, your judgment started that day. You could have done something for 20 years and he ain't do nothing to you. Soon as he brought the understanding to you, and I don't care who he brought that understanding through. It might be a junkie on the street that he sent up there. Go tell him this. If he sent a donkey to talk to a man, what difference do it make if he sent a junkie? So no, I ain't gonna accept that because that was that Jay said that. Your judgment started that day it was brought to you. Go ahead.
Verse 31. Because he has despised the word of Yah, and has broken his commandment, that soul shall utterly be cut off. His lawlessness shall be upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks on the Sabbath day.
So when you get down to this, if you just start reading here, especially people who read just about the Sabbath, it looks like this is a mean old God, and he is doing something that, why would you punish somebody this strong about the Sabbath day? What he's doing is going through this point of presumptuousness. The difference between ignorance and presumptuous. They were already told about the Sabbath. They knew about the Sabbath. Now they're entering in presumptuousness because now they're going to do their own thing. Read.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moshe and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. And they put him in ward, because it was not declared what should be done to him.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe, the man shall be surely put to death.
And when you look at it, you say, man, put to death for gathering sticks. I wonder what happened if I pick up some rocks. That's not what that's about. That's about knowing exactly what the words say and still doing what you wanted to do. That's what that's about. That's absolutely nothing to do with picking up the sticks. Go ahead.
All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones.
All the congregation. Not just the mean people in the congregation. There was not a committee of stone throwers. So everybody got to take part in righteous judgment. But see, some people don't want to take part in it. That's why they fall victim to everybody's sob story. But Yahweh going to take care of that business. You're going to pick up one of them rocks too. Go ahead.
And he died, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
Stop. Now, what was the fringe for? We first got into sinning ignorantly. Then we get into presumptuous sin. Then we get into the fringes. People have to pay attention to the order of how things are being presented. Go ahead.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it and remember all the commandments of Yah.
That you may remember. Started out dealing with sinning ignorantly. Then we get into presumptuous because remembering to keep the Sabbath day is a pretty easy thing to remember. Now, it may be difficult to remember, do I bring a turtle dove or do I bring a pigeon? You know what? I'm not sure. Really easy to figure out where you're supposed to be on Sabbath. Really easy. Presumptuous. Say, no. He need to die. That he should have known. Go ahead.
And that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a-whoring, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your Elohim. I am Yahweh your El, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your El. I am Yahweh your Elohim.
All right, did you finish that, bro?
Yes.
All right, let's go to Acts chapter 15. Acts chapter 15, and we're going to read verses 30 through 41.
Verse 30. So when they were dismissed, they came to Antioch. And when they had gathered the multitude together, they delivered the letter, which when they had read, they rejoiced for the consolation.
Mm-hmm.
And Yehudis and Silas, being prophets also themselves, exhorted the brethren with many words, and confirmed them. And after they had tarried there a space, they were let go in peace from the brethren unto the apostles. Notwithstanding, it pleased Silas to abide there still. Saul also and Barnabas continued in Antioch, teaching and preaching the word of the Adonai with many others also. And some days after, Saul said unto Barnabas, Let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Adonai, and see how they do. And Barnabas determined to take with him Johanan, whose surname was Mark. But Saul thought not good to take him with them, who departed from them from Pamphylia, and went not with them to the work.
Now, we don't know if that was a personal thing or whatever it was. It caused a real schism in between them because Saul thought that work was very important. That brother had something else to do or wanted to deal with something else. And at that point, it doesn't say that one was kicked out of the gospel or wasn't dealt with anymore, but them two couldn't work together. Go ahead.
And Saul chose Silas, and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of Elohim. And he went through Syria and Cilicia, confirming the churches.
All right, so then we have situations that will occur, and the question is, do we let the word deal with this, or does how things operate in the world deal with it? Let's go to Galatians chapter 2. Galatians chapter 2, and we're going to read verses 7 through 14.
Galatians chapter 2 and verse 7. But contrariwise, when they saw that the gospel of the uncircumcision was committed unto me, as the gospel of the circumcision was unto Cephas, for he that wrought effectually in Cephas to the apostleship of the circumcision, the same was mighty in me toward the Gentiles. And when Jacob, Cephas, and Johanan, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me and Barnabas the right hands of fellowship, that we should go on to the heathen, and they on to the circumcision.
So you have one body of work, but one part is going to work on one thing, the other part is going to work on something else. Go ahead.
Only they would that we should remember the poor, the same which I also was forward to do. But when Cephas was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. For before that certain came from Jacob, he did eat with the Gentiles, but when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision. And the other Yehudis disassembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation. But when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Cephas before them all, If you, being a Yehudi, liveth after the manner of Gentiles, and not as do the Yehudis, why compel you the Gentiles to live as do the Yehudis?
Now, if we're look at this, how Cephas treated people directly affected another person's work. Cephas sowed discord about Saul's work by publicly stepping away from the Gentiles in the presence of the brethren. When we publicly speak against the work of others, we cause that issue. Now, does this mean if they perform their work wrong, are we obligated to be quiet about it? This is not that situation. This is a situation where a person operated in a certain way and it affected other people to the point where now even other servants are backing away from the Gentiles. Now, another thing that we have to witness, what we also have to notice here is how spirits are shared between individuals. When Cephas had a feeling about something, the people who were in near vicinity to him then entertained that same spirit. I've recently watched an individual whom I've known for a while had a jealousy issue against another. After some time, it becomes apparent that an individual close to that other individual now entertains the same spirit of jealousy against the same person. what happened? They picked up the same spirit of the person that they were around. You have to ask yourself, are you influencing the people around you, or are the people around you influencing you? And if that's in a negative way, you're going to have some problems. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4. And when you deal with this, look at the situation. What did Cephas say? People say, you have to say something to cause a problem. What did he say? He didn't say anything. Absolutely no words were spoken. All he did was display a negative spirit in the presence of other people. That spirit was then carried off to other people. And the negative spirit grew from person to person to person. There were no words spoken. So how did that spread? See, we have to understand the power of energy. There's a thing said that energy is never lost. It is just transferred from one object or person to another. That energy didn't go anywhere. That energy is absorbed somewhere else. That's why some people work out, or they go box, or they go do, because they're trying to take the negative energy that's sitting here and place that energy somewhere else, so that that negative energy is not destroying them. But if you're not careful, you become the something that somebody delivers their negative energy to. They deliver the negative energy to you, you carry it, and then it destroy you. But they over there fine. They just as cool as a fan. Why? Because they dropped off their negative energy on you. Now you carrying it around. Don't know why you upset. Now you angry at people. Now you feel a feeling of jealousy, and you didn't have that before. Where it come from? They gave you their energy. You ain't gonna find somewhere else to put that. Because if you keep carrying it, it's gonna destroy you too. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4.
Podcast still up on your phone, right?
Yep.
They're saying it's cutting off for them.
Yeah, it cut off on me twice before I even set it up.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 3. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yah. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
And just saying that, I know they're saying we're having some issues on the broadcast. Praise Yahweh, we even have power. When we called in some places to check on power, they told us, yeah, it'll be Tuesday, next Tuesday. What? So praise Yahweh, we got power around here. You know, we'd have candlelight Bible readings here. And we sure wouldn't be broadcasting by candlelight. You can believe that. Go ahead, bro.
But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell.
His countenance has fallen because his offering was not accepted. But if it wasn't done right, why would Yahweh accept it? Do we just try to be nice and accept something just because it was offered? See, that's what we learned from our days in heathenism. See, it's mean not to accept a Christmas gift. You know, it's the thought that counts. No, the hell it ain't. I don't want that. So then we're supposed to sit there with that Christmas lie and just, thank you. Oh, you got me an ugly sweater. Thank you. You don't want that. So how much does that encourage the people to keep doing that same thing? Then you ask people, how many years have you gotten that ugly sweater from that same person? 5. How many years did you tell them that you didn't like it? None. Well, put that ugly sweater on and shut up. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. And Yahweh said unto Cain, Why are you angry? And why is your countenance fallen? If you does well, shall you not be accepted? And if you does not well, sin lies at the door. And unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him.
So now, when something is not accepted, it causes a chain reaction. And Yahweh said unto Cain, Why are you angry? Now, he's angry because his work, his offering was not accepted, but his brother's was. Now, he then says, if you do well, shall you not be accepted? Of course, I'm going to accept your brother. Your brother did his thing the right way. If you do not well, sin lies at the door. He lets him know you're in a dangerous position now. Because part of your work was not accepted, you are now about to entertain evil thoughts. This is that point where we start working. Figuring out why was my work unacceptable to Elohim. But what happened? The sin that was at the door operated a situation, and it ended up with him killing his brother. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12. And you know, when you examine that, we don't even see a real altercation between Cain and Abel. We don't find an argument. We don't find anything. The conversation was between Yahweh and Cain. That negative energy has gone somewhere else, has done something else. Abel don't even know about it. He don't even know the negative energy going on. He did what he was supposed to do. Because if he knew his brother had this negative energy, he damn sure wouldn't have went out in the field with him alone. Hey, come on over here, brother. I want to show you something. No, because I see you don't feel right. Your eyes, one of them going left, the other one going right. That don't look right. No, you got some ill will and discontent toward me, brother. Let us stay in the presence of many people. See? Oh, he wasn't even aware. That's how that negative spirit hide. See? And everybody not able to see the negative spirit that somebody is entertaining. But Yahweh saw it right off the rip. You entertaining the negative spirit. And how did it get there? He knows how it got there. Yahweh is telling him how it got there, giving him an opportunity to get rid of the negative spirit. But he didn't do that. See, we get warning. There was warning for him to turn away from that murder. He didn't have to go and do that. He had warning. So it was not done ignorantly. It was done presumptuously. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, and let's start that at verse 4.
Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Adonai. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same Elohim which works all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit.
So then we don't all have the same gifts. But those gifts then need to come and take their proper seat at the table so that each one can be used effectively for the entire body. No gift is of itself and runs of itself. Go ahead.
To another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits.
To another discerning of spirits. So you have one who works miracles, but they're not able to see that this person over here is entertaining the spirit. That's somebody else's job. This is why you have a congregation, a fellowship, because one person don't have all these gifts. And if you deal by yourself, you ain't never gonna entertain or have the power of the spirit. Because ain't no one, If you got all these, you Yahshua. Simple as that. You got all these, you Yahshua. Ain't nobody got all these. Go ahead.
You know, we can see in the situation with the 12 sons not waiting or understanding the manifestation of your own gift, what happens? Because the first person we see is Joseph's gift. So that caused contention.
Yeah.
And but eventually we learned that what? Yehuda is going to be royal. Benjamin are warriors. So eventually everybody's gifts comes out, but at that point in time, the only one that was shining was Yosef, so everybody wants to kill Yosef.
Well, his gift's shining more than ours, you know? Because, I mean, I can't be a king until we set up a kingdom. So me being a king don't help me right now. But I know he got that pretty coat. I know he got that coat of many colors. I know he is around here telling everybody about his dreams. His gift is manifested right now. And doggone it, I got a problem. He not older than us. Why they talking with him? Right. Can't wait. Go ahead.
Verse 10. To another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another divers kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these work that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severely as he will.
Yahweh is the one that sets the solitary families. He's the one that sets this person has this gift, this person has this, and this is how these things are going to come together. Go ahead.
You know what's even interesting? Just in that, it says one has diverse tongues.
Very interesting.
And one interpretation of tongues. So you can speak all these languages, but yet you can't interpret.
But you don't know what they're saying. You can say it, but when somebody say it back to you, you don't know what they said. You see how he creates a situation where we need one another? But see, we won't be Lone Rangers. See? We won't be Lone Rangers. I'm gonna ride down here by myself. Yes, I am. I sure will. I'm gonna do this thing. How you gonna do that? He separates these gifts for a reason. Israel began as a family, then grew into a nation. Somehow we keep forgetting that. We're ready to keep dealing with nation stuff. We're ready to keep dealing with all of that. But we stumble at the first step, the family part. Don't you understand? That's where the adversary, the devil, attacked us. Family. We so busy worrying about nation, and he attacking us in bedroom number 2. And we down at the White House, and the bedroom messed up. You fighting at the wrong place, Slick. Why you down here at the White House? Need to be at the Brown House. Yours. Go ahead.
No, you're so right, my brother. Because it says love starts at home first and then spread abroad.
And y'all forgive me. I know I'm gonna get a email. Where is the Yahweh cup? I'm going through one of them 20-day cleanses, and brother eating, nothing but, raw vegetables. Hey, look, a lion don't eat straw. You know what I'm talking about? So brother having a hard time. So if I just doze off for a minute, it ain't y'all fault. Brother ain't had no meat. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't built like that. You know what I'm talking about? Woo! So y'all have a little mercy. I'm sipping on this real lemonade. This is the closest. This delicious right now. This is the closest thing I get to flavor. All right. So y'all forgive me. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 12. As the body is one and has many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is the Mashiach. For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Yehudis or Gentiles.
By one Spirit are we all baptized into one body. There's one body of Yahshua that just has different parts. Each one of those parts has to take care of its function. If it doesn't function, there is a schism in the body. And whenever there's a schism in the body, one part has to overwork to take care of what another part is not able or decided it wasn't going to do. when there's a problem in your foot, eventually you're going to have a pain in your leg. Because the rest of it is going to try to overcompensate for what the foot said, I ain't doing. The foot is supposed to go on the ground. When the foot said, well, you know what, I don't feel right, so I'm just going to go halfway on the ground. That worked for your first 15 steps. But when you take step number 16, you get that little shooting pain on the left side of your leg. Now, what was that? Oh, that's because this thing is overworking, and now there's a schism in another part of the body. So that schism has now transferred to another place. Now, you can go and work on the calf because you said that's the part that's hurting. That's not the cause of the problem. Cause of the problem is the foot that decided it didn't want to firmly be planted on the ground. You got to find out why that foot don't want to go on the ground. Go ahead.
Whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one spirit. For the body is not one member, but many. If the foot shall say, because I'm not the hand, I'm not of the body, is it therefore not of the body?
You know, you got a serious situation when your foot say, you know what, I'm a totally separate entity all by myself. I'm only going to walk when I want to walk. What? So you're trying to go somewhere and the foot like, I ain't agreeing with you. I don't like them. So I'm not going over there. Now somebody got to carry you over there. Something wrong. Go ahead.
And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I'm not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing? If the whole were hearing, where were the smelling? But now has Elohim set the members, every one of them, in the body as it has pleased him.
As it has pleased him. Go ahead.
And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of you, nor again the head to the foot, I have no need of you. No, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary.
Right. You realize how necessary something is when it stopped working. You go to the doctor, they may tell you a part that you didn't know you had. You're like, man, I keep feeling this strange. Yeah, your equilibrius ventricular is not operating. What the hell is that? I don't know what it is, but I know it ain't working. Go ahead.
And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor, and our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. For our comely parts have no need, but Elohim has tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacks.
So what happened? When a part lacks, you pay more attention to that part. Why do you think they give us physical therapy when we start having issues? Now you got to put more attention onto the part that lacks. What if now the part that lack get an attitude problem? Why everybody keep looking at me? Why they keep looking at me? Every time I come around and come over with this x-ray machine, they keep looking, stop looking at me. Something wrong with you. That's why we all looking at you. We're trying to fix you. Go ahead.
That there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it. Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it. Now you are the body of the Mashiach, and members in particular. And Elohim has set some in the church, first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healings, helps, governments, diversity of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best gifts, and yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
Right. Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? No. We have various gifts that are given for various reasons. And if we do not perform that function, then we're going to cause a schism in the body. So the question is, what causes us to do that? What causes us not to walk in the gift that was given unto us? Let's go to Numbers chapter 14. Numbers chapter 14. Now let's start that at verse 36.
And the men which Moshe sent to search the land, who returned and made all the congregation to murmur against him by bringing up a slander upon the land, even those men that did bring up the evil report upon the land died by the plague before Yah.
So they came back. They brought up a slander which scared all the rest of the people. And now there is an evil thought process about going and retrieving the land that Yahweh has brought them out of Egypt to go and get. I mean, do understand at this point, the children of Israel have witnessed miracle after miracle. They understand that they are now having power that they did not have before. Yet they still allowed somebody else's negative talk to talk them out of going and getting the land. But you see fire, smoke. You've felt earthquakes. You've seen the water part. You've seen plagues. You've seen the removing of plagues. You've seen the administering of even more plagues, one by one by one. How did the talk of a few people cause you to walk away after seeing all of that? See, this lets us know how powerful negative talk is. They seen all of that. And on top of that, you see a brother go to the top of the mountain and come down glowing. And you still question? That's how powerful letting everyone have your ear is. You don't listen to everybody that talk. Go ahead.
Verse 38. But Yahshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Yephani, which were of the men that went to search the land, lived still. And Moshe told these sayings unto all the children of Israel, and the people mourned greatly. And they rose up early in the morning, and gat them up into the top of the mountain, saying, Lo, we be here.
Now, here's a situation that you have to learn that once Yahweh gets in a certain situation, when the people don't listen right away, because here it is, they're supposed to go up, but because of the evil report, they didn't go up. Now he disciplines them. Now they want to go up. You don't get to pick the timing that Yahweh deals with things. Go ahead.
Lo, we be here, and will go up unto the place which Yah has promised, for we have sinned. And Moshe said, Wherefore now do you transgress the commandment of Yah? But it shall not prosper. Go not up.
Warning. Go not up. He not with you. Go ahead.
For Yahweh is not among you, that you be not smitten before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are there before you, and you shall fall by the sword, because you are turned away from Yah, therefore Yah will not be with you. But they presumed to go up onto the hilltop.
They presumed to go up. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, the ark of the covenant of Yah and Moshe departed not out of the camp.
Now, when you see the power of Yahweh, the seat of your Elohim, and it don't move with you, you on presumption. Your presumptuousness is on swole. You know it didn't leave. Why you kept going? Go ahead.
Then the Amalekites came down, and the Canaanites which dwelt in that hill, and smote them, and discomfited them, even unto Hormah.
This is the power of being stiff-necked and rebellious and refusing to repent. It was very obvious as they went up to that hill that he already told them. All right. So it wasn't like a surprise. We know what we're dealing with. But because we want to be stubborn, we're going to maintain that path. They maintained that path all the way to their death. And it was very clear Yahweh went with them. The leader of our people told them, and they didn't see the ark move. Yet they still went about. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4. Exodus chapter 4, and we're going to read verses 21 through 26.
And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Excuse me.
when you go to return into Egypt, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh, which I have put in your hand. But I'll harden his heart, that he shall not let the people go.
Uh-huh.
And you shall say unto Pharaoh, thus says Yahweh, Israel is my son, even my firstborn.
Now, there are certain things that Israel as a nation is performing here that is above our level of comprehension at this time. Yahweh said unto Moshe, when you go to return into Egypt, see that you do all those wonders before Pharaoh. I have put them in your hand, but I also will harden his heart. I'm not going to allow him to repent. See, this is a part of judgment, not being allowed to repent. And people think it's their own decision that they're not repenting. No, that was part of the judgment. He would not let him. Every time he moved to say, all right, I'm sorry, you get your people out of here. Y'all were like, go and change him again. Why? It was time to make an example out of it. You've been ruling over the people of Israel for over 200 years in rigor, using them to build and do all of these things. No, I ain't finna let you get away with just one little slap on the wrist. No, we're finna dance. Turn the music back on. Go ahead.
And I say unto you, let my son go, that he may serve me. And if you refuse to let him go, behold, I will slay your son, even your firstborn.
See, this is why there's so much weight placed on the children of Israel. They didn't know that they were representing the Holy Son of Israel. Yahweh said, this is my son. See, we're not called Yahwehites. We call Israelites. We were named after Yahweh's son, Israel. He was having us represent his son. Tell him, let my son go. So how you gonna go and do any old thing? Do you know who you are representing? Do you understand the name, the holy name by which you are called? See, folks spend all that time fighting over whether it's Yahweh or Yahweh or Yahoo and Yah this. We step right on the holy name of Israel. This is what we were representing right here. Go ahead.
And it came to pass by the way in the end that Yahweh met him and sought to kill him.
Uh-huh.
Then Zipporah took a sharp stone and cut off the foreskin of her son.
Okay, stop. Verse 24. And it came to pass by the way in the end that Yahweh met him and sought to kill him. First, Yahweh gives him all these wondrous works. Yahweh gives him all this wondrous ability. And then after that, Yahweh sought to kill him. Now, why would he give him power, miracles, all of these things, saying that you are going to perform this? And then he get to a certain place, and then Yahweh get ready to kill him. Is there something wrong with that place? No, time ran out. And his time ran out on this other issue that he already had knowledge of, that he didn't take care of in his house. This is house business. And Yahweh let that house business go long enough. And now he's about to deal with him. And there's an enormous amount of things that had to take place in between verse 24 and verse 25. That ain't written. In verse 24, it says Yahweh met him and sought to kill him. Now, start at verse 25.
Then Zipporah took a sharp stone.
No, wait a minute. How she know what the problem was? Oh, they done already had this argument. They done had this argument over and over and over. Yahweh said, all right, your time up. We ain't talking no more. Go ahead.
And cut off the foreskin of her son and cast it at his feet and
Understand,
said,
he married a foreign woman who does not agree with circumcision. He didn't have no choice but to marry a foreign woman who's in a foreign land. She don't agree with circumcision. Yahweh has instituted circumcision. She don't like it. So he fighting with baby mama. Yahweh said, I don't care. Your time up. But you notice, when the time was up, he wasn't coming to kill baby mama. I want y'all to pay attention. He can't kill Moshe. He ain't gonna kill baby mama. She was the problem. Y'all expected him to deal with the problem. No, I'm coming to kill you. Go ahead.
and said, surely a bloody husband are you to me.
So she ain't like it. She didn't like it at all. Yahweh did not care. There are certain things that need to be taken care of. He don't care what you think, feel, or believe. And if you're entertaining feelings too much, you're not going to get the job done. You got to know what things to feel about and what things got to be done. Go ahead.
So he let him go. Then she said, "A bloody husband you are."
And she's still talking. She don't just dislike it. She hate it. But you notice what it said? So he let him go. That angel got that sword drawn and he about to take care of that bitch. See, our problem is we don't see the angel standing there. So we don't know that we're about to be slain for something that we have not taken care of. We're still going about business as usual because we don't see the angel. Go ahead.
Because of the circumcision. That's it.
All right. Where we at? That was Exodus 4. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15. See, Yahweh expected him to deal with that matter. Did Yahweh know it was a problem? Of course he knew it was a problem. But it was his duty to deal with the problem. And if you can't deal with this problem, how you gonna deal when I get you over there to this land and you got 200,000-300,000 people looking at you and they all whining and they mad and they angry, but you can't deal with your wife? Well, you better take care of this business. Because you about to have way more business than that where I'm about to send you. So this was his practice. Go ahead and practice. Because if you think the way she's looking at you is mean, wait till you get over there. Why do you think they had to warn Israel? They said, don't be afraid of the looks on their faces. Go ahead.
You know, in that situation, it says he let him go. So did she see the angel have him yoked up and decide to cut it off? Like,
hey, it's very interesting. Very interesting. Because she held out to the last minute. And that's how we do. We so tough. We so tough. We're going to hold out to the last minute. But sometimes you find out that you done waited too long. And Yahweh don't give you no minute. What he do is remove you and put somebody else in that seat. Your wife said, hey, just curse Elohim and die. Job got every kid that Yahweh replaced every last one of them. But don't think it was from that same woman. She ain't have 7 more kids in their age. No. He brought somebody else to have them. Because in all that, her true heart was revealed. Curse Elohim and die. He probably never thought he'd hear his wife say those words. But the right situation and circumstance will bring out the true manner of an individual. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, let's start that at verse 1.
moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also you have received, and wherein you stand, by which also you are saved, if you keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless you have believed in vain. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that the Mashiach died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the 3rd day according to the Scriptures, and that he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12.
Mm-hmm.
After that he was seen of above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present, but some are fallen asleep.
Right, that's what they call dead, falling asleep. Rest in peace. When it talks about resurrection, it says they will be awakened. But see, that stuff they gave us on Sunday morning, everybody died and they went to heaven instantaneously. Yet we get in Revelation and it don't say nothing about that. He started talking about resurrection and the people coming out of their grave, the people coming out of all the places where they died. So somebody lying. Because the book don't say nothing about that. But what we do is we get the culture of Euro-Gentiles that they brought over here and placed in this book. And the book don't say it. They'll have the book open while they're talking to you about heaven. And if you stop watching their lips and start watching these words, you're going to get a clue. Wait a minute. That don't fit what's in here. You said that he in heaven watching us now. This book said he going to be awakened. Now, either you lying or the book wrong. And the question is, if you got the same book that I got, where did you get that heaven story from? Because I'm reading in here and I don't see it. So tell me what that's at again. We too scared to do that. Go ahead.
Verse 7. After that, he was seen of Jacob, then of all the apostles. And last of all, he was seen of me also, as one born out of due time. For I am the least of the apostles, that I am not meet to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of Elohim. But by the grace of Elohim, I am what I am.
By the grace of Elohim, I am what I am. I had great zeal, but it was incorrect. I had the word, I had the understanding that I thought was right, and I went 100 miles an hour forward with it. But when I was corrected, I changed my path. Go ahead.
And his grace was bestowed upon me. And his grace which was bestowed upon me was not in vain, but I labored more abundantly than they all.
Right, because I realized I got some stuff I got to work off. See, I know I committed some egregious acts, so I got something to work off. So ain't nothing worse than when you get down to the schism that was with Saul and another brother, because Saul had a problem with how that brother did the work. Saul know, hey, I got some stuff I got to work off. See, I got some dirt in my past. You can't work hand in hand with somebody who don't believe they got no dirt in their past. Because you working, because you know what you done did, and they think that they were perfect when they got here. So for every 10 hours you put in, they put in 1. Every 10 you put in, they back at the water cooler. Nah, man, we not going to be able to work together. Because you don't understand, I got something to work off. I know what I committed. You not trying to work like that. You need to go work with somebody else. Go ahead.
Yet not I, but the grace of Elohim which was with me. Therefore, whether it were I or they, so we preach, and so you believed.
Jump to verse 35.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 35. But some man will say, how are we, the dead, raised up? And with what body do they come? You fool, that which you soweth is not quickened, except it die. And that which you soweth not that body that shall be, but bare grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain.
Right. So then it has to change form. So what we came in as out of the world should be transformed as we walk in the word into something else, still resembling the old creature, but having a new direction. Go ahead.
But Elohim gives it a body as it has pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. For one star differs from another star in glory.
Right. So when we deal with powers and principalities, there's not all the same power, so you can't deal with everything the same way. Go ahead.
So also is the resurrection of the dead. It is sown in corruption, it is raised in incorruption. It is sown in dishonor, it is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness, it is raised in power. It is sown a natural body, it is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body, and there is a spiritual body. And so it is written, The first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Mm-hmm.
The last Adam was made a quickening spirit.
Right. And that should also be one of our clues, as it calls Yahshua the last Adam. The first Adam was not made through the natural union of woman and man, and neither was the last Adam. And they cannot figure out why there were situations that was set up like that. And it was set up like that because Yahweh is merging the kings and the priests. If we just deal with one thing, the priests come out of one tribe. Yahweh needed that to come out of the king and the priest so he can merge him into being what Melchizedek was, king and priest. So there are things that were going on there. Let's go to Acts chapter 22. They got I seen one of the brothers send a text about there was a earthquake, I think, in Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to start, and we have been seeing more and more of these so-called natural disasters, which is what those plagues were, by the way. That's what the plagues were. Natural disasters. Except it kept naturally occurring to the same people. That's when you're like, wait a minute, man. Why don't you spread some of this judgment around? They did some wrong. They did some wrong. They did some wrong. Take some frogs over there. All of them coming right here. Because that's where his people were. But now our people have been spread all across the globe. So everybody got to get it. He can't concentrate on one place no more. Everybody gonna get a little bit of this. Go ahead.
Acts chapter 22 and verse 22. And they gave him audience unto this word, and then lifted up their voices and said, away with such a fellow from the earth, for it is not fit that he should live. And as they cried out and cast off their clothes and threw dust into the air, the chief captain commanded him to be brought into the castle, and bade that he should be examined by scourging, that he might know wherefore they cried so against him. And as they bound him with thongs, Saul said unto the centurion that stood by, Is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned?
This is a man that understands that he is enjoys the dual citizenship, and he understands what that means. That and understanding the law, he's exercising himself not just in Yahweh's law. He understands man's law too. This is man's law he's operating in. That's not Yahweh's law. He's now mentioning Roman law. Go ahead.
When the centurion heard that, he went and told the chief captain, saying, Take heed what you doeth, for this man is a Roman.
Right. He has Roman citizenship. Now this is confusing unto them. Go ahead.
Then the chief captain came and said unto him, Tell me, are you a Roman? He said, Yes. And the chief captain answered, With a great sum obtained I this freedom. And Saul said, But I was freeborn.
Right. That man said, look, I had to pay a lot of money and do a lot of things to get this. When people come over here, they don't want to give them a green card. They make them go through all them classes and do all that. Julio sneak his baby over here, his folks over here in an inner tube, or however they get here. Boom, the baby born, freeborn. And you going through all them classes trying to study the capital of the United States. That kid right there, freeborn. Why? Just born here. That's it. Stamp. Mama and daddy, illegal. Child, legal. Stamp. They were born here. Freeborn. Every couple of years, they calling you back up there to talk about your green card. But what happened when they born here? Done deal. Y'all ain't know who to pick for what things. Imagine if he sent a brother over there that had a green card. Stop it. How much work you think that brother gonna be able to do? First of all, every time the authorities came, he go, oh, there he go. Y'all know how we go. We go 12. He talking boldly when he see him. Because he got his paperwork right. Go ahead.
But you know what he said? A great sum I attained this. Man, you got to pay for all, every time you got to renew it, you got to pay for that.
You sure do. And you under examination every time. And if you out doing some dirt, they might lock you up and then after that deport you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Verse 29. Then straightway they departed from him, which should have examined him. And the chief captain also was afraid, after he knew that he was a Roman, and because he had bound him.
Because now he has done things outside of what the law allows. But you have to notice something. Now the soldier, the police, is now afraid because he realized that he is not what he thought he was. Not who he thought he was, what he thought he was. So now that he knows that he is this, he can't treat him that way. Now don't that sound a little familiar here? Some of us get thrown upside the car, get done all of these things, and then they look up that person's background, find out what they are, and all of a sudden, you're free to go. Now what's the difference? Some of us are held on the side of the road for 3 hours. Other people get let go in 3 minutes. But we both look the same. What happened? When he pulled up that computer, it's, no, not that one. They got the paperwork right. They already know who you are when they put the code. That whole asking you, to tell them your name, it's hogwash. If that car yours, they already know everything about you. Go ahead.
On the morrow, because he would have known the certainty whereof he was accused of the Yehudis, he loosed him from his bands and commanded the chief priests and all their council to appear, and brought Saul down and set him before them. And Saul, earnestly beholding the council, said, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before Elohim until this day.
Now, they didn't like this statement, okay? Now, at this point, Saul is dealing with the Roman law. But you have people that are going back and forth in this whole situation. So they did not like that he says, I have lived in all good conscience before Elohim until this day. Go ahead.
And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth.
That lets you know Israel when nothing to play with. When the high priest said, hit him in his mouth. Like, what? They do that? Go ahead.
Then said Saul unto him, Elohim shall smite you, you whited wall. For sitteth you to judge me after the law, and commandeth me to be smitten contrary to the law?
Smitten contrary to the law. Okay? So now there's a little confusion here. Because at this point, the way he's dealing, he doesn't recognize the status of the individual that he's talking to. Go ahead.
And they that stood by said, Revile you, Elohim's high priest? Then said Saul, I knew not, brethren, that he was the high priest.
I knew not that he was the high priest. So he backs up when he realized that he done spoke a little bit too harsh to a man of a certain level. Go ahead.
For it is written, you shall not speak evil of the ruler of your people.
So, question is, according to our law, the high priest was supposed to have 2 head coverings on. The regular priests have 1 head covering on. There's a totally different set of fringes that is worn. There's things that goes all the way around the garment. Why the hell he didn't know that was the high priest? He should have been able to look at him and tell that. See, they dealing with something else. But then they're going to still blame him for that. See, you going to talk to the high priest like that? Why the hell he ain't got on the uniform? Imagine the man show up at your door. He ain't got on no police uniform. But he said, you under arrest. The hell I am? You going to have to show me today? Just get in the back of my car and shut up. We about to see today. Go ahead.
But when Saul perceived that the one part were Sadducees and the other Pharisees,
So he took another approach. He realized that approach was not a good approach. Okay? See, that's a part about understanding the situation that you're in and not just going like a bull and keep going. Up, I done said too much. I done said something stupid. Let me back up. There's another way. Go ahead.
he cried out in the council, Men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee. Of the hope and resurrection of the dead, I am called in question. And when he had so said, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the multitude was divided.
Multitude divided. So instead of going there, he realized he done said too much to the high priest, not knowing what his level was. He went about it a different way. We got two different groups of individuals gathered together against me. Knowing the word and understanding the word, he knew one believed in resurrection, one didn't. Just by bringing up the topic, he has now divided his adversaries in half. That may not sound like much to you, but when 10 dudes is trying to beat you up and you able to divide that into 5, you might win 5. All right? But that 10, even if you get beat up, you get jumped on by 10 chumps. It don't look good for you. I know in the movies, a dude beat up 10 dudes. All right, we see it in the movies all the time. But you ever notice they always wait till he punch one dude before the other dude come? That don't happen in real life. Take it from a person who's been jumped on by 10 people before. They don't wait. They don't wait. They don't wait until like the other one hit you and then you bounce off and then they go and hit. That's TV. Go ahead, bro.
For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection, neither angel nor spirit, but the Pharisees confess both. And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were of the Pharisees' part arose and strove, saying, We find no evil in this man. But if a spirit of an angel has spoken to him, let us not fight against Elohim. And when there arose a great dissension, the chief captain, fearing lest Saul should have been pulled in pieces of them, commanded the soldiers to go down and to take him by force from among them, and to bring him into the castle. And the night following, Dadne stood by him and said, Be of good cheer, Saul, for as you have testified of me in Jerusalem, so must you bear witness also at Rome.
Right. So that paperwork helped him be in a position to boldly state the things that he needed to state for Yahweh. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 24. See, and the differences in the way that Yahweh deals with things sometimes causes us to have a schism with Yahweh our Elohim. Because every situation cannot be dealt with in the same manner. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 24 and let's read verses 17 through 23.
Verse 17. And he that kills any man shall surely be put to death.
All right, this is Yahweh's law. He that kills any man shall surely be put to death. Go ahead.
And he that kills a beast shall make it good, beast for beast.
Mm-hmm.
And if a man cause a blemish in his neighbor, as he has done, so shall it be done to him. Breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he has caused a blemish in a man, so shall it be done to him again.
This is righteous judgment. You reap what you sow. You grow what you plant. Go ahead.
And he that kills a beast, he shall restore it. And he that kills a man, he shall be put to death.
And he says the same thing again. So he meant this. Go ahead.
You shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger as for one of your own country, for I am Yahweh your El. And Moshe spake to the children of Israel that they should bring forth him that had cursed out of the camp, and stone him with stones. And the children of Israel did as Yahweh commanded Moshe.
Right. So he cursed, he is stoned with stones. Now, let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 12. Yahweh has stated, he that kills must be killed. Second Samuel chapter 12, and we're going to read verses 9 through 14. And this is Yahweh then dealing with David. Go ahead.
Wherefore have you despised the commandment of Yah, to do evil in his sight? You have killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and has taken his wife to be your wife, and has slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon.
Right. You just use somebody else's sword to do it, because that's how rich and powerful men kill. They just order somebody else to do it. The person that orders the death is just as guilty as the person that committed it. Go ahead.
Now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, because you have despised me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I will raise up evil against you out of your own house, and I'll take away your wives before your eyes, and give them unto your neighbor, and he shall lie with your wives in the sight of this sun.
So Yahweh going all the way in his punishment, but there's one thing that you don't hear. Wait a minute, he supposed to die. His law says, he that killeth a man must be killed. You kill, you get killed. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, breach for breach. That's not how he dealing with David. Go ahead.
For you did it secretly, but I'll do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against Yah. And Nathan said unto David, Yahweh also have put away your sin, you shall not die. Howbeit, because by this deed you have given great occasion to the enemies of Yahweh to blaspheme, the child also that is born unto you shall surely die. And Nathan departed unto his house, and Yahweh struck the child that Uriah's wife bare unto David, and it was very sick.
Now, it says you have given great occasion for the heathen to blaspheme Yahweh. It wasn't just the heathen that blasphemed Yahweh on that. It gives an occasion for Israel to blaspheme Yahweh. Consider what's going on. Wait a minute, Yahweh, didn't he kill? Why he still living? See, now we want to dictate exactly how Yahweh deals with a situation. Now, it is written, he that leads into captivity shall go into captivity, and he that kills with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. But we also have to take into consideration what Yahshua says. In Matthew 20 and verse 15, he says, is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? See, we kind of forget that the whole thing is Yahweh's. And we kind of get off into some different things. The question this poses to us, is Yah then guilty of hypocrisy? Our problem is we think we understand his law the way he understands his law. We also often forget that this creation is his, and as Yahshua stated, it is not lawful. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? The same situation occurs as members of a group witness a situation, but they do not have the same information that the leader has. And some information cannot be divulged because it involves other people, or it will cause vulnerabilities in other areas. Yahweh made a covenant with David. If Yahweh kills off David, he kills off his covenant. He has to punish David a different way. Killing him would have been easy. Making the sword stay in his house forever, now that's difficult. You got people that's born into the sword and don't know why. Oh, because your great granddaddy killed somebody he shouldn't have killed. What? What that do with me? Well, he should have died, which means you wouldn't have been here. So shut up. So what? But see, we're still going to get on the woe is me part. Well, wouldn't have been no you to woe. So then we find out that there are powers and principalities. Everything can't be dealt with the same way. People often ask, why don't Yahweh just kill Lucifer? He's an archangel. He had to deal with him according to the power that he has. Yeah, if it were one of us, look, when Uzzah accidentally touched the ark when it shook, boom, killed him right then. Lucifer's not so. You can't just kill him like that. He has to deal with him according to his power and his position. So that means sometimes people are afforded a longer time to stand in a wrong place than they should. Ain't no question that Lucifer been doing wrong for quite some time. We read in the book of Job. It said, man, all the angels came to make their appearance, and here come the adversary. Hey, where you been? They ain't asking why you here. Why don't you get the hell on? Go back to wherever you go. No, man, where you been, man? Up and down, to and fro. You know, doing what I do. Right. Well, yeah, go. I can use your services down here because I want to test this servant. I can use it because that's what you do, you know. So let me go ahead and use what you do to bring about a good test upon one of my servants. And I ain't got to tell you what to do because this is all you do. So I'm going to give you some stipulations. You must save his life. You are not allowed to take his life. But after that, go ahead and do what you do. Like, yeah, all right, I got this. I'm going to show you. He only love you because you're giving him stuff. So Yahweh, the earth and the fullness therein is his to use as he will. Even the adversary. He says, I make light, I make darkness. I create good, I create evil. He uses it as he please. Our problem is thinking that we know exactly how he should deal with his law. We don't have the same information that he has. We need to understand that the new moon don't look to Yahweh the same way it looked to us. So he's got to give that new moon according to our perspective, according to if he were standing here. But he ain't standing here. So he did that for our sakes. But he don't see the moon like we see the moon. He ain't standing in the same place we standing in. That's something that we have to consider. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Titus chapter 3. Go ahead, brother.
You know, recently when we were talking, I'm looking at this thing here, and you said to me, word and world, the only difference is an L.
Mm-hmm.
But will you take the L and lose out on salvation?
It's interesting. You know, you have to consider some of the things that we will fight for, and at the end of the day, realize that it wasn't worth the fight. Because sometimes we're so busy winning or trying to win that we don't know that we lost. I remember watching this documentary about this boxer who fought De La Hoya, and he's one of the few. This was when De La Hoya was he was just unbeatable. Nobody was able. He could put together combinations. Every time you hit him, he hit you like 5 times. You know, you pow, pow, God, you just could not land combinations on this dude, right? Well, one black guy did, and he won. He beat De La Hoya when he was unbeatable. Here's the problem. He won, but he lost. Because De La Hoya hit him so many times in the head that his brain swole. He was never able to fight again. And he don't have his motor skills. He can't move, and he's still trying to box. He ended up talking and moving. You know, y'all saw how Muhammad Ali moved? He did this at 35. That's how he moved at 35 years old. Because this was not designed to be hit that many times. So he won. But he lost his entire career trying to win that one fight. And he put it all on the line. But he never won anything else again. And he keep trying to box. And everybody just keep feeling sorry for him. They just let him come and, dance around the ring. But they're like, man, we can't put you in there with somebody, man. They're going to kill you. That's when you put so much effort that you don't realize that W really was an L. Go ahead, brother.
Titus chapter 3 and verse 1. Put them in mind to be subject to principalities and powers, to obey magistrates, to be ready to every good work, to speak evil of no man, to be no brawlers, but gentle, showing all meekness unto all men. For we ourselves also were sometimes foolish, disobedient, deceived, serving divers lusts and pleasures, living in malice and envy, hateful, and hating one another.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, the kindness and love of Elohim, our Savior, toward man appeared.
But after that, the kindness and love of Elohim, our Savior, toward man appeared. Do we allow that to influence our thought patterns? Because at some point, those thought patterns should change. It ain't going to change overnight, but it should start changing. When you're displaying the absolute same thing that you walked in the door 4 or 5 years ago with, there's a problem. Go ahead.
Not by works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us, by the washing of regeneration and renewing of the Holy Spirit, which he shed on us abundantly through Yahshua HaMashiach, our Savior, that being justified by his grace, we should be made heirs according to the hope of eternal life. This is a faithful saying, and these things I will that you affirm constantly, that they which have believed in Elohim might be careful to maintain good works.
Mm-hmm.
These things are good and profitable unto men.
I will that you affirm constantly that they which have believed in Elohim might be careful to maintain good works. Go ahead.
But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. A man that is an heretic after the first and second admonition reject.
Because at some point, it's not going to do you any good to keep talking to him. You'll get the same outcome. Because everything you get, all you get is a sly, slick remark. What you keep talking for? Conversation over. Go ahead.
Knowing that he that is such is subverted and sinneth, being condemned of himself.
All right, is that it, brother? Did you finish that? All right, that is all that we're going to do for today. We do have baptism today, so we have several things that we have to do today. So you guys govern yourselves accordingly. But remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.